Greetings everyone and welcome. I'm your host Captain Ryan. In today's video, I'm in the Tier 9 US destroyer USS Fletcher here in the World of Warship. As the battle gets underway, it's Hotspot and it's Domination Match Mode. This is following the patch 7.5, which means there are a lot of new radar cruisers that people are very eager to get out there and try. Which means, playing as a destroyer, you're going to have to deal with a lot more radar spam. Now as I push up here towards the A cap point, I do have backup in the form of a Tier 10 cruiser, the Hindenburg. And there are a couple of battleships as well back behind me who are going to be making their way up around the side of that island. At this point in the battle, things are looking pretty good as the team has basically decided that it's going to go ahead and push B and push the A cap point. So at the very least, we have some kind of plan. Both teams have 3 destroyers per team, but the enemy team has a Yugamo on their team, and that guy's going to play a little bit of a factor here as I push into the A cap point. Now, spot an enemy Montana who's pushing up this direction. That's when I spot the second enemy Montana. So both Tier 10 battleships on the enemy team there, pushing back over by the A cap point. Spot the Buffalo there. Fortunately, I'm outside of his radar range, but he's not the only cruiser that's back over here that has radar that I have to think about. Here come torpedoes. Now look at that spread. It's 4x4. That's going to be the Yugamo. And man, RNGesus really did give me the luckiest spread there as he perfectly provides me torpedo beats action by just sitting still. Now, you'll notice here that my detection range fully encompasses the cap here at A, and yet the Yugamo, who is somewhere back over there, is undetected. And simultaneously, I am also undetected, which does bother me just a little bit. But given that he's back over there, and given that there's a Des Moines within radar range, I don't feel comfortable sitting out in the open, especially not broadside onto a Montana, or a cruiser that I know is lurking back over there. So I'm going to go ahead, push out of the cap just a little bit, back up as my torpedoes become available here, and I'm going to fire off 2 sets, and I'm kind of debating how I want to deal with this because this Montana has got himself broadside onto me as he's trying to make his way back behind that island. Now, that Montana, I am being detected. That's the Yugamo, and the Montana manages to land almost a full broadside right on top of me. I think only a few of those rounds missed me, and as you can see, look how much damage was done. Half my health instantly gone. And when you consider that there's still 2 radar cruisers lurking back around behind the A cap point, this could be a serious problem for me. My team has managed to lose a cruiser and a destroyer. The enemy team has lost 1 of their destroyers. So both teams currently at 2 destroyers with me at half health. Now the enemy team has secured both the A and the D cap point. So this is going to put them in a points advantage here as they're going to be able to gain points triple the rate of my team. Push up here into the A cap point. Finally managed to spot that Yugamo. He pops a smoke screen. I pop a smoke screen. Now this is going to be important because both people popping smoke screens means that neither one of us is going to be able to see the other. Plus, it's the Yugamo. Don't want to be sitting in my smoke screen here because he's going to be getting torpedoes away more than likely at me any second. And he's also thinking the same thing as he continues to move. Now I push forward here, end up beaching myself, but it's alright because there's the torpedoes that I was talking about, so all of his torpedoes miss. Now you'll notice that he was trying to turn around, and him turning around is going to play an important factor in the fact that my own torpedoes are also going to miss. Now I managed to shoot down a catapult fighter or a spotter aircraft there with my anti-aircraft, and that's when I noticed and realized that my AA was still on. That's a bad thing if you're in a destroyer and you're trying to be stealthy, because that AA range is further than your detection range as it is, and your detection range by air is pretty small. Once again, forced out of the cap, and once more, the enemy team taking that advantage as they managed to kill yet another cruiser. Now, the enemy team does have a couple of very low health cruisers, and it would be wonderful if we could get up here and cause some serious problems for the enemy team by taking those ships out. At this point, though, the enemy team has that points lead. They have that advantage, and all they really need to do now is just prevent us from pushing into the cap. And this is where things are going to start going badly for them. Hindenburg pushing up here, gets close enough with his hydroacoustic, he spots the Yugomo there. Now the Yugomo does his own set of torpedo beats there. Remember, the Hindenburg's got multiple sets of torpedoes on each side of the ship. Additionally, if that Yugomo's popped up there and maneuvering around like he is, you can bet he's got torpedoes away, and sure enough, there they are. Of course, Hindenburg, because he's got his hydro up, he can see them. The Hindenburg has an advantage here to torpedo beating, because he is bow on to that Yugomo. Don't quite manage to make the kill on the Yugomo. It's actually our friendly battleship, the Republic, that manages to kill that guy. Hindenburg, in a reverse, manages to torpedo beats all of the Yugomo's torpedoes. And then look at the situation. The enemy team has lost all 3 of their destroyers. They still have their radar cruisers, they still have their battleships. But the fact that they've lost their destroyers, they've lost their scouts, they've lost their sneaky torpedo boats that can come back into the backfield and cause some serious and significant problems. The cruisers, on the other hand, they're going to have to expose themselves by firing their guns. They're going to have to expose themselves by getting themselves spotted by people like me as I push up into the A cap point and can finally start taking this location. Still have to be cautious. There's still a radar cruiser hiding back behind that island. So you can see the last known position. There's at least one back there, and we know there's at least a second one lurking around as well. Both that Des Moines, and I think the Buffalo is still back there. Speaking of the Buffalo, here he is. He pops up, and he's full strength. I'm well inside of radar range. Fire off a set of torpedoes, and not only am I well inside of radar range here, but I'm laying a smoke screen. I'm basically giving a dead giveaway that there is a destroyer in this cap location. Do manage to secure the A cap here with the assistance of the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg laid a smoke screen for him. That smoke screen is going to block line of sight when he's not firing. And that's going to play an important factor here, is that Buffalo is giving broadside. I don't know what this guy is doing, but he's giving broadside. The Hindenburg's firing armor piercing, not having the best of luck there as he manages to, it looks like, shatter all of his shots. But look at that. Buffalo continues sailing broadside and gets hit by one of my torpedoes there. Should have put 2 sets out, but I wanted to save that second set just in case. The good news is, though, that cruiser takes a big hit from my torpedo, but now he's taking an additional hit from the Hindenburg. And the Des Moines has started to nose around the corner as well. So pay attention here as we basically managed to kill their 2 radar cruisers back over here at the same time, right next to each other. Enemy Montana starts bearing down on me back over here, so I fire off a set of torpedoes. Second set reloads, want to fire off a second set here, get my ship turned around, fire off that second set. And as I get turned around here, that's when I realize I had other additional targets to deal with. There is an enemy Buffalo, a second radar cruiser, and the enemy Minotaur, both back over here. But that Kurfürst is also, or I'm sorry, that De Grosser is also bearing down on me there, and he's within torpedo range. Could have hit him as well. At this point, the enemy team still has the points advantage because they held 3 of the caps for so long. My team not able to secure the D cap, although they are still trying. But again, my team has the advantage. We have destroyers on the team. And the enemy team, at this point, realistically, they only have 1 ship that has radar capability now, and that is the Buffalo, because the Minotaur is running smoke, as he has continuously utilized that smoke screen to go and hide. First set of torpedoes managed to hit that Montana. Second set don't hit that Montana, but look at that. The Montana's actually flooding as I'm continuing to gain damage on that ship. Fortunately, my flooding damage is going to continue to go up here because that Montana is basically behind an island. Nobody else on my team can shoot at him. So again, set of torpedoes up, fire off that set of torpedoes as I push up around this island. I'm actually going to try and get as close as I can to that island and to that Montana without being spotted. I effectively want to guarantee that if this set of torpedoes miss, and they might very well because he's bow on, I'm going to be able to nail this guy. But simultaneously, I don't want to get myself spotted. There's a lot of big nasty guns out there, including that Montana's, and I've got less than half my health left. As I push up here, torpedoes do manage to connect on that Montana just as I barely get spotted there. And because that Montana basically let himself flood before getting hit and finished off by that torpedo, I earned a liquidator medal, something that I just don't earn very often. I'm never quite that lucky. Now, my team has the ship's advantage, and we now finally have the points advantage. Enemy team down to 4 ships. My team still has 7 ships, so just shy of double. Although our Conqueror over there, fairly low health. Our Kagiro also has about the same amount of health I do as far as percentage goes. But they are capturing the D cap point. There's that smoke screen where that Minotaur is currently residing, and he is just inside of my torpedo range. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off a set as I push into the B cap and start capping. Friendly teammates managed to take out the last remaining Montana, who was trying to make a break for it towards the back there. So he's not going to get away in this battle. And now it's 3 versus 7. And now it's 2 versus 7 as we manage to take out the De Grosser. And that just leaves 2 ships left. The Buffalo, which is a very good Tier 9 cruiser that has radar, and the Tier 10 Minotaur with that blistering ungodly rate of fire. Just look at the shots coming out there. But look at the shots coming out there from a smoke screen. What is it that I always say about smoke screens? Oh right, they're torpedo magnets. And if you've got torpedoes or destroyers in and around you, you should be careful. Secure my second kill in the game, finishing off that Minotaur. Taking him out of the game feels oh so nice, as he was a potential very dangerous problem for me if he was running hydroacoustic. If I had gotten any closer to him, could have been a serious issue. But good news for me, he just sat in that smoke screen and continued to fire away. Of course, that Minotaur, surprisingly enough, did do the most damage on his team. Something like 180,000 damage. Or that's at least what he claims in the chat. Now that Buffalo, very, very low health here. He's trying to wiggle and run around there. So, because he's preoccupied and everyone's shooting at him, into the game, we're going to win on points. Anyway, I decide I'm going to get in on the action. I'm going to start shooting him as well. The real question is, who's going to get the kill? It's very low health. Come on, so low health. He's recovering. He's got his heal activated here. Come on, set a fire, land some shots. This is the problem with the Fletcher and the U.S. destroyers firing at range on moving targets. Did manage to hit him, set him on fire, just as the friendly teammates managed to finish him off. So only 2 kills in that game for me. Devastating strength there and liquidator, though. 141,000 damage done in that game. 7 spots. A little bit over half the enemy team there. 8 torpedo hits, 1 aircraft shot down. Top of the team for XP earned there at 2,300 base XP. Our Republic coming in a close second at 2,100 base XP. That Minotaur there, as we see, the only guy on the enemy team to break 1,000 base XP. And he got taken out by making a very noob mistake and sitting in a smoke screen. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Every little bit helps. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.